Hi guys, Spike here with your surf report for the South African coast from the weekend of Saturday, the 23rd of July until next week around Thursday. I'm just looking at the first weather plots for the surface wind around the Southern Ocean. Big high pressure sitting to the west of South Africa and lots of wind and lots of swell pushing through over the next few days from all of this wind over here. If you look as that moves on, the front and westerly winds die out and goes glassy by Sunday. But what's really interesting is a lot of southeast strong wind up the coast of the west coast. A big high, as usual, been ubiquitous this year. Ubiquitous meaning very prevalent, sitting there south of the country and just making life miserable for some people. And of course, it does it again. But now what happens is this big east wind that comes over the high starts to form a low pressure system, and then it becomes a cutoff low. And a huge southeast swell is going to be pumping all along the east coast, but especially in the Southern Cape and False Bay, of course, in Cape Town by Wednesday, Thursday next week. As you can see, big low pressure system is sitting right on top of the coast, and all that east wind is basically heading way down deep into the ocean. A lot of it is missing the coast, and that is a bit of a downgrade from a few days ago when it looked like it was going to be facing right up the back end of the continent. Of course, it's going to bring lank rain. If you look at the rainfall forecast, a little bit of rain still on the weekend, obviously, all along the Southern Cape from the current front that has passed. Succession of them is quite weak. But then if we start move more towards, there's a little bit of rain in Durban as well, a little bit more rain in Cape Town coming up in the next couple of days. But look at what starts to happen from Monday. Big rain in the Eastern Cape, and big rain Monday in the Eastern Cape and KwaZulu-Natal all the way up to Durban. Huge rain, Queenstown down to East London, some inland, and now look at that. Those inland areas are getting a bit of rain, which is good news. But here comes the effects of the cutoff low. Huge rain along the Southern Cape and Eastern Cape coast. And look at that around Oudtshoorn, George. Huge rain on Tuesday morning. And it prevails, and as you can see, because of the end of that cutoff low system, the wind pumping southeast towards the coast, that's the end of, in fact, you can see the shape almost of the winds around that cutoff low, and that's where the rain is. Big rain in the Southern Cape, and then it starts to diminish on Tuesday. So if we look at the wave models, you've got the South Atlantic sea heights, or swell heights. There comes a little bit of swell, bang, hits us on Saturday. And from all of that wind that I showed you around the high pressure system. And then as we move towards that east swell scenario, and there you can see it coming into the picture, and there big swell hitting the Southern Cape and all, in fact, along the eastern and KwaZulu-Natal coast. But then you see it's actually a lot of it goes down into the ocean. And in fact, if you look at the period chart, okay, so we'll quickly whiz through the next few days because it's kind of boring. Even though there is a little bit of waves, you can see good few swell trains in the ocean at the moment. But into Sunday, there goes the southwesterly swell continuing there. To the east, you can see the high pressure system, and those east swells are starting to form up by Madagascar. And then there starts the cutoff low, and there starts that pushing up of the east swell. This obviously is the period, the interval between the swells. There it goes. And as we move there, you can see a current swell or an approaching swell coming from the southwest hits the east swell, and they collide, bang, in the middle of the ocean. You can see that that east swell actually has a full-on period of like 17, 18, 19 seconds. And in fact, it's heading towards the ice shelf as a northeast swell, which is kind of bizarre. But anyway, lots of swell in store for us next week, lots of interesting conditions, lots of rain, and I think that's about it. Thanks.